Guys, I have a crazy video for you. I'm going to show you, after 15 years of using Lightroom, the 10 hacks that will change your life and the way you edit in Lightroom forever. And I'm giving them to you, the least important first and the most important till the end. So you gotta stay until the end because the last 4 are incredible. All right, let's do this. How to make a collage in Lightroom. So for example, here I've got a whole bunch of really nice photos of Paris. I'm going to select them all and I'm going to go to the print module. And in the print module, I'm going to go to custom package. And you can see here, I can choose my page setup. I can make this, for example, into like a portrait format. That's going to make my paper go the other way. This is just a template I've been using. I can click on a different template that's there and erase it if I want to. And check it out. I can take all the photos and drag and drop them. And now I can position them how I want. And at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a little collage. Okay, I want the strike color to be white. I think it's kind of cool. And I'm going to make like a little collage that I'm going to basically print into a document. Okay, a little trick, for example, let's say you see this photo is usually like this. I made this smaller. And let's say I want to position the statue more in the middle. You can just hold on the Command Option on the Mac. And I'm guessing it's Control on Windows. And you can adjust how the photos are displayed. And once you have the collage that you like, you can just go down here and you can print into a JPEG. File resolution, I usually leave 200 dpi. It's going to be a good file. Print to file. I'm going to go on my desktop and write collage. And boom, that's the final JPEG. Pretty cool, done in just 2 seconds. Okay, how to synchronize retouching from one photo to the next. So I'm going to do a quick retouching on this photo. So I'm going to open the shadows, bring on the highlights. I'm going to do my black point, my white point. Maybe make it a bit warmer, add a bit of magenta, add some contrast. And again, I'm going to give you like a full video on how to use Lightroom. I'm going to link it under this video if you want like a full free video on how to use Lightroom. If I'm going a little too fast, I'm going to make the horizon straight. Okay. And then I'm just going to lower a little bit the top of the photo. So I'm going to go this. This is a photo I shot in Iceland a couple of weeks ago. Actually, a couple of months ago, this one. Okay. And you can see I on purpose took this photo because it's got lots of sensor dust and you'll see something really cool. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to use the new content aware fill to take out the dust, which is here in the sky. And it does a much better job than the old system. It's a little slower, but it does a great job. So you see, it took out all the dust. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Command-Shift-C. And I'm deciding what I'm going to copy onto the next photo. So the masking, which is dark in the sky, I'm going to select that. You see the healing, I'm going to select that. Okay. So I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to go here. And I'm just going to see here, there's like sensor dust, everything. I'm going to click on Previews. And it's going to take a little while, but it's going to copy everything from this one photo to the next. I have to adjust the cropping. Actually, I shouldn't have copied the cropping. That's fine. You know, I should have just gone like this. Command-Shift-C. And not take the cropping because the cropping is very personal to a photo. But I use that all the time to just copy and paste my retouching from one photo to the next. Hack number 8, how you can basically make a gradient for the sky without darkening anything which is sticking out. Let me show you. If I go here and add a gradient because I want to make the sky darker, like much darker, you see I'm making the top of this darker and the top of this darker. Now check it out. So easy. You go here. And you click Intersect Mask with, select Sky. That's all you have to do. And it's going to use AI to detect the sky. And check it out. Now this is not dark anymore. You see, only the sky is getting dark and not anything which is sticking out. Crazy. And that's a new feature. Hack number 7, how to retouch the eye and the skin really fast in Lightroom if you don't want to go to Photoshop. This is a beautiful model I shot a few years ago. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to People, you see, which is already selected here. And check this out. I have in red is what is selected. I only want to have the face skin selected for now. And you will see in red is only the face skin. I also want the body skin to be selected. So you see now we have the body, just the skin selected. I'm going to create a mask. And then on this, I can just go, for example, add some minus clarity. Look at the difference. Minus clarity, her skin is much smoother. I can make her skin a little brighter or a little darker to make her more tanned. Voila. Now let's see, I want to correct the eyes. So I'm going to go to create a new mask, select people, go to people, and this time I'm going to take the eyes sclera here. I'm French, I don't even know what that means, but I'm guessing it. Oh no, actually no, I want to have the iris and pupil. Iris and pupil here, create a mask. And on this one, I'm going to add a bit of exposure. Don't do it too crazy, it's going to look like an alien, but just a little bit. And a bit of, I like to add a little bit of clarity on the eyes also, just to make the eyes pop a little more. Okay, let's do her lips. Select people, person, lips. You see in red, her lips is selected, create a mask. And all I'm going to do is add a bit of saturation on the lips. And voila, I retouch her skin, I retouch her eyes, and I retouch her lips in 2 seconds. Isn't that crazy? All right, hack number 6, how to give a Hollywood look to your photo. This is a photo taken from Game of Thrones. Look how green everything in the dark is and how the skin is so yellow. This is a scene from Superman. Look at the city, it's all green and yellow. Look at Superman, he's yellow and green. This is a scene from Avengers. Look at Captain America, he's very orange and everything is green. Iron Man, very orange, and look at the mask here is very green. This is again X-Men this time. Look at X-Men, like every Hollywood movie looks the same. In fact, this was a study that was done, this is crazy, on hundreds of Hollywood trailers. And they looked at the density of the colors, and you can see it's mostly blue, green, and orange. That means all these movies, I forgot how many movies it is, but it's a lot of movies, and you can see they're basically orange and blue or green. Now, why is that? Well, that's because of the color wheel. So it's because of the color wheel. You see, the skin of a human being is usually in the orange or yellow, and what is the opposite color? It's blue, teal, and green. So if you want to make the actor stand out, you can put the background in blue or green or teal, and then the skin in orange. So let me give you an example. Okay, this is a portrait that I shot a long time ago for some friends that were doing a short movie. And if I want to give it a Hollywood look, I could literally go here and add a lot of blue in the background. I mean, look how blue they are going. This is X-Men. Look how crazy blue-green it is. It's crazy. So I can do that maybe. So you can go, and I'm using the color grading wheel here. Color grading. And so I can go really, and this is basically closer to the center is less saturated, more on the outskirt, it's getting more saturated. So usually I first put a lot of saturation and then I go into my blue, my teal, and my green. On this one, I think blue would do kind of okay. Blue-green, a little more blue. And then on the skin is going to be in the highlights and the mid-tones. So on the skin, when the circle is in the center, it's no saturation, so I always put it on the outside. And then this is the midtone, so that's the highlights, that's the shadows. You can see before and after the shadows, before and after the highlights. Highlights doesn't do that much because there's not much highlights, but if I add a lot of midtones, you can see here there's a little eye before and after the midtone, big difference. So I'm not going to use as much on this one. And maybe that's too crazy. But it's still like, look how crazy they're going on their look. It's totally crazy. So I wouldn't go that far on the photo. I would probably just add a bit more blue like that. Yeah, like that, but something like this. And let me show you on the cityscape. On the cityscape, it's going to be nicer. I'm just going to add a bit of blue. This is a photo I shot of Los Angeles, more blue and more orange on the highlights. And now all of a sudden we have really this sort of Hollywood look that is so obvious in movies. I can't believe people don't see that. It's crazy. Okay, hack number 5, how to combine HDR photo really fast. So back from Iceland, I had all these HDR photos, and it's, you have the normal exposure, overexposure, underexposure every time, and it's like hard to manage. I'll show you a really cool trick. If you select everything by pressing Command A or Control A on Windows, right click, you go to stacking, auto stack by capture time, and you can move, by default, it's going to be in the middle, right? I always put this thing here. So that is the time between each photo. But when you do HDR, you go really fast, like bam, 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 bam. Like there's literally like 1/10 of a second between each shot, unless you do long exposure. But most of the time, I go around here, and it should give me 4 stacks of photo. 3 stacks, no, I want 4 stacks. Okay, 4 stacks. And if you click here on stack, look at this. Now I only have like 4 photos, sorry. But each photo is 3 stack, and it's much more easy to see. And if I want to see what's inside, I can go here, press the 3, and I can restack them like this. And then I can select them and I can go to photo merge, HDR, and make it into an HDR if I want to by selecting the group stack. It's really cool. And that's the HDR, and I can click on merge and I'm done. Hack number 4, how to find your best shot really fast. Now, this one will save you hours, and I know it because I use it on all my workshop, and every time my student goes, why did I not think about this? So again, here is a shot in Iceland. I just imported the photo and I just want to get my best shots. So what I do is I basically go through the photo really fast. You see, for example, this one I was doing wave painting. When you do wave painting, you take a lot of photos, like lots of photos. So what I do, for example, is I just go through my photos and I'm like, oh, I really like this one. So I'm gonna press 1 on keyboard and give it a 1 star. And I really also like this one because I like how it flows, and I'm gonna give it a 1 star. Okay, and maybe on this one, because I'm going to give it a 1 star. So I just press 1. You can see there's a little 1 on these photos. Let's carry on. So this is another wave painting moment. And I'm going through the photos. Looks like this one is blurry. I want one which is sharp. This one looks like sharp, so I'll give it a 1 star. Maybe this one, I'm going to give it like a 1 star. So all I look is I go through my photo, and I think if the photo has some kind of potential, I give it a 1 star. Okay? And then this one is, I really like it. I'm getting 1 star. Here's a portrait of Julia from Skylum. I was taking different portrait of her. I like this one. I'm going to give it a 1 star. And I like this one. I'm going to give it a 1 star. Okay, so now I've given like a lot of photos 1 star, right? I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to rated, and I'm going to take just a 1 star. So now I have only the 1 star. Now, in this case, I don't have a lot of photos, but sometimes when I do this process, and I actually do it as I import my photo in Lightroom, I have a lot of 1 star. So what I usually do is I select, like for example, the 3 photo looks very similar to me. I select all 3 and I press N on the keyboard. N for survey mode, don't ask me why. Then I press N on the keyboard to go into survey mode and Shift Tab to go in full screen mode. And now I can say, okay, I can play the game of Highlander. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but the motto was, there can be only one. So I only want 1 photo. I'm going to go Highlander on it. So I think my favorite photo of all 3 is this one. So I'm going to give it a 2 star. And boom, Shift Tab to go out of full screen mode. Then this one and this one, I like them both. So I'm going to give a 2 star to both of them. I'm going to give a 2 star to this one. And I think I like this one more. I'm going to give it 2 star. So now you see I had 18 photos. I only have 8 photos selected, which is the 1 star. Now I'm going to select the 2 star. So now I only have 5 photos. And now I can go to the develop manual. Usually I always retouch the 2 star. So I'm going to retouch the 2 star and do some retouching on this one. Boom, 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 really fast. Again, if you watch till the end, I'm going to show you how to get a full course for free on Lightroom. But you have to watch till the end. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so, and voila. And once I've retouched the photo, I would spend more time on it. I'm going to give it a 3 star. And voila. And I know all my 3 stars is my retouch photo. And sometimes when I have a photo which is really crazy good, I give it a 4 star. But don't tell that to anyone. It's just this 1 and 2 star system is so easy for me to find my best photo really fast. Okay, now it's getting really, really important. Okay, the 3 last are crazy. How to do global dodge and burn. Hack number 3. On this one, I'm just going to do a basic retouching. Open the highlight, the shadows, bring on the highlights. I'm going to do my black point, my white point, add a bit of contrast. I already like what I did. So the first thing that I do, and I did a whole video on this, also I'm going to put the link at the end of this video, which is global dodge and burn. Okay, how to do global dodge and burn. So global dodge and burn means what? Means it's the big dodge and burn. So usually what I do is I start with a gradient, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to lower the exposure, maybe add a bit of blue. And the way the gradient works is whatever I'm doing here is going to be applied in full from the top to this, and on a gradient from the first red to this. And again, if you want to know how to use that, I'm going to give you a video at the end of this video that will go much more in detail on that. Okay, so I do that. And on this one, I think I want to make the whole photo darker except this beautiful ice. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to take a regular gradient. I'm going to invert it. So now everything is selected by this, and I'm going to lower the exposure for everything. So you see, so now I'm making everything dark except Well, the sky is a bit too much. Let me go this. So I made the sky darker and I made everything darker. So it's like really a global burning, meaning burning means making darker. But I didn't make darker this and I didn't make darker that. And this is kind of the star. So on this one, I'm going to create another gradient and I'm going to make this actually reverse. I'm going to add a bit of exposure just on this to make it more shiny. Okay, so that's my global dodge and burn. It's really fast. It's usually just a gradient and one big radial circle just so that the luminosity is not the same everywhere. Okay, then hack number 2 is how to do local dodge and burn. So local dodge and burn is usually done with the brush. I'm going to go here. This was so important. I had to break it down in two things. By the way, guys, if you want to get a copy of my latest Lightroom book, this book will teach you Lightroom more than anything. Plus, I'm going to give you a copy. This is a printed copy of my composition aid. This is something you put in your camera bag and it will help you take better composition. This is a little game I made for you. It's called Know Your Camera. And the game is you have to do a whole bunch of settings in less than 10 seconds. I promise you, when you're done with that, you will know your camera. And the next thing is Lightroom shortcuts. 13 best Lightroom shortcuts. You put this on your wall. You will never use Lightroom more fast than this. You can get all of that for free. You just have to pay shipping and handling. The link is under the video. And you just pay the shipping and handling and you get that plus a really cool photographer passionate t-shirt. And you get 2 weeks of my new coaching program, which you can check out, where I'm going to work with you on some of my best photo and coach you on your photo. All the information is under. Okay, so now I did the global retouching. Let me do local retouching. So this one, I'm going to take a brush this time and I want to make some of these leading lines there stronger. So the brush, I make it much smaller. And I'm just going to follow a little bit the lines here. And I'm just going to boost a little bit the exposure. So right now it's in red. And I'm just going to... So when I use the brush, I make sure that my flow and density is in the 70s and feather in the 100. Because if you do like flow and density all the way to 100 and you start brushing, you know, and you can really see the brush stroke, which you don't want that. So let me do it again. I'm going to go to brush. And so you really want to have the flow and density pretty low and you want to have the feather all the way. That way I can just add a bit of exposure. It's called dodging. Dodging means making brighter. A little bit of exposure and maybe a little bit of highlights here and just make these lines here a bit brighter. Maybe make this a bit brighter. So when usually what I do is I do brush over brush over brush. I'm going to add one more brush and then add a bit of exposure. And I want to make that leading line brighter like that. And then I'm going to add one more brush. And when I do my like very local, I do a lot of brush strokes, lots of brush strokes, because when I'm happy with something, I kind of like just to, you know, I don't want to overdo it. So when I've got a brush stroke that I like, I usually do another one. And I like to add like brush strokes above brush strokes above brush strokes. And then I go back to my final adjustment. Maybe I'm going to boost the white on this photo a little bit to make it pop and boost a little bit the exposure. But you see now it's very shiny because I did the global. Let me show you the before. So that's the before, that's the after. The global dodge and burn and the local dodge and burn is going to be a revolution for you. Okay, the most crazy hack ever, how to turn the city lights on when they were off. This is a French opera. I got up at 6 in the morning and when I was setting up my camera, boom, they turned off all the light. But this is like almost in the night. It was at sunrise and I was like, oh, I missed it by 1 minute. So I'm going to show you a really cool trick. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to go here and this time we're going to use a radial gradient and I'm going to make a little radial gradient here on this little lamp here. And maybe let's zoom in a little more. I'm going to zoom in like maybe 200% to really get in close. Okay, now I'm at 200% and I'm just going to boost the exposure on this one. It's going to turn the lights on, maybe add a bit of yellow. And now I'm going to right click, duplicate, and I'm going to get that on the next lamp here. And you see this one, the lamp is a little further away. So I'm going to basically duplicate it. I'm making it smaller as I go all the way. Okay, and check it out. So now you see I can move the exposure and it's turning off and on all the lights of the city, which is crazy. Look at that. So I'm going to turn that on. But of course, if the lights were on, I'm going to turn on some of the opera because some of the lights of the opera were also turned off. On this one, I'm going to add a new radial gradient here. Voila. And I'm going to pretend there was some lights coming from this window here with a bit of yellow just to make it more interesting. Let's maybe do this one too. So duplicate. Okay, so this is the French opera lights now. I can make it brighter or darker. I'm going to make it really bright. Now, if it was truly at night, it was getting bright. I think I'm going to make the overall photo even darker and a little bit more blue, like if it was the night. Okay, and now I want to add, if the lights were truly on, it would radiate some light. So I'm going to go here and create a big radial gradient for the bottom here and just make some lights radiate here. And maybe add some minus clarity so that it diffuses the light a little bit. Voila. And then let's make another one like that. Radial gradient for here. If these lights were on, we would have a bit more light here. So a little bit of light. Okay, and I'm going to right-click duplicate and do the same thing here. All right, right-click duplicate and do the same thing here for the back of these lamps here. You know, they should radiate some kind of light. All right, let's go back. Maybe on this one, I think I want to boost the whites a little more and maybe make my sky a bit darker. So I'm going to go here, create a mask, and you have this new option where you can select the sky, which is really cool. It's only going to select the sky, and I'm just going to lower the exposure for the sky a little bit. And maybe lower a little bit the saturation. It's a bit too saturated for me. It's just a bit too much saturation and even more. Yeah, something like that. And look at that. We turn off and on the lights of the CD. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely crazy. So that's without any local light, and that's with. Pretty cool, guys. All right, don't forget to get a copy of my latest book. The link is under, and I have this incredible video. It's a 1-hour video on how to use Lightroom. You should really watch it. It's a full course on how to use Lightroom and how to edit the best out of your raw files. Starting right now, just click the link here or look under this video.